What's up, y'all? I want to talk to y'all today about lessons and losses. Learning life's lessons from the losses that you might incur and owning the struggle that you go through in life. Owning that shit. So, the reason I said that is I think sometimes as adults, as people, we kind of want everybody to think the best of us, like we've always had shit figured out our whole lives. Like I was born a perfect infant, I was a perfect child, perfect adolescent, perfect teenager, perfect youngs, and it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I like being honest with people about who I am and what I've done and where I am, what I've become. You know what I mean? So when I talk about lessons and losses, I mean I'm really owning the struggle that I've been through in this lifetime because it's made me a better person. You know what I'm saying? The things that I've learned along the way has made me a better person, made me a better man. That's what I mean by that. So I think that I was seeing where they had the Freaknik thing was coming out and people were freaking out about it. And, you know, my opinion on it, and I might be the only one who feels this way, is I know people might feel a certain type of way if anybody's seen you when you're 20 shaking your ass or whatever. I get that. But I think that if you've made something of yourself and you've become this person of high esteem, I think that lesson is more important than you trying to make it just seem like you was always that person from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That's a fallacy. That's a lie. You know what I mean? You didn't have it all figured out your whole life. You was young and you made mistakes like everybody else. That's where the lesson's at. The lessons is these are the mistakes that I've made along the way, but I changed it around, worked my ass off, and now I'm here. That's the lesson that I believe should be learned in all this. But I want to talk about some of the things that I went through, you know what I'm saying, gone through in life or whatever. I'm one of 7 kids. I'm number 6. And my mama, man, she done the best she could with the kids, you know what I'm saying, she had. And I think that by the time she got to me, man, by the time I started getting to be older, you know, she was just ready to live her damn life. She told me, like, listen, I'm about to move to a whole nother city. And by this time, it was just me and her in the house. I'm about to move to a whole nother city. You ain't coming with me. So figure it out, you know, and that's exactly what I had to do in life, is figure the shit out. And I think that I wasn't never mad at her for that, you know what I mean? Because I always looked at it as like, it was always a challenge. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be mad, mama, you know what I'm saying? Come get me. And I never did that. She never got that call. I figured the shit out. You know what I'm saying? I had no choice but to do that. You know what I mean? So I ended up doing what I had to do, man. You know what I'm saying? I moved in with my lady and her people, you know what I'm saying, for a while. Then we weren't together. And eventually, man, you know what I'm saying, the nigga found himself homeless. You know what I'm saying? And I always looked at it as a badge of honor, man. Like, I've been through that shit, man. I've had a car and everything I owned in the car, and I still managed to find a way to get shit cracking, to get shit popping, to advance out of that. It was never to where I'm just fucked up and I'm just down here and I'm just out for the count. I was never like that. So I remember being homeless. I done been through the blood bank, you know, pawn shop. You know, I done did all that shit just on some survival shit. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day, there was this place called Mr. Mills, and it was a place where they gave out food, you know what I mean? And free food to people, you know what I'm saying, who needed meals or whatever. And I mean, shit, I was in the line. You know what I'm saying? I was in the line. You know what I'm saying? So a couple of weeks later, I had a nephew that saw me in the line. He didn't say nothing to me at the time, but he saw me. He said something later on, and he was all, man, Uncle Brad, I seen you in Mr. Mills' line. And he was in that line, man, you know what I'm saying, like getting free food. And I'm like, what the fuck I was supposed to say? It wasn't me. Like, yeah, it was me. You know what I'm saying? I went through that. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, even like when I would see him years later, you know, like a reunion, whatever, he would always bring that up, man. Like, I remember I used to see Uncle Brad in that Mr. Mills line or whatever. And looking back on it now, man, that shit, that's the metal that ended up making me as a man. The fact that I had to go through all that. I wasn't ashamed. What I'm gonna fucking do, starve on the side of the road because I'm too ashamed to go get some food? Nah. That shit is what made me as a person. Those hard ass struggles, all that craziness that I went through in my early 20s that made me a better person. You know what I mean? I went through the bullshit, and I always looked at it as a badge of honor. So I was never mad at him that he used to say that shit to me and whatnot, but it was all about lessons and losses at that point, man. Like, you know, I took a bunch of losses, but there was lessons I was learning at that point. You know what I mean? I figured this shit, as long as I got me a car and this mouthpiece, I'm gonna make it happen. So I had one girlfriend that stuck with me through all this shit, all this homeless shit or whatever. Her name was D. And I'm young, she's young, and she held me down through all this shit. She worked at a chicken place and whatever, and would always make sure I was full. Always make sure you got food in your stomach. Are you hungry? You need some money. Always kept money in my pocket. Always kept, it's back when I used to smoke big weed. Always kept weed in my pocket. Always kept me with some money for some drink or whatever. She didn't do none of that shit. She didn't drink, smoke. She didn't do shit. But she always made sure that I was taken care of. You know what I mean? So that girl, man, like, I looking back on it now, man, like, shit, she's probably one of the reasons why I made it through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like she looked out for me. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think that people are like seasons, and some people are put into your life at particular moments so you can get through those moments or whatever. There's a lesson to be learned in this. I'm all about lessons. I'm always learning. I'm always thinking about what's to be learned in this situation that I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm always thinking about like that. So she was always there for me like that. And one thing about me, man, and I had homies and shit, and they used to always fuck with her and laugh, you know what I'm saying? Because she was always giving me money and trying to clown her or whatever and shit. But, you know, one thing about me, if I ever said or did anything to anybody wrong back in the day, I always went back and apologized for that shit. There's people who in high school, middle school, who I used to fuck over, and I actually went back and apologized to them for that shit, because I just told them, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, man, I apologize for that shit I used to say to you, how I used to treat you and shit. And that was fucked up, you know what I'm saying? I apologize for that shit. I was young, you know what I'm saying? I apologize for that shit. And they always, you know what I'm saying, accept my apology. I mean, don't worry about it, whatever. But that always meant something to me, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it was always about growth and learning how to be a better person or whatever. I always felt like, you know, that's what it was about. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, well, I'm dealing with her. I'm living in my car. I eventually luck up into an apartment. But, you know, I'm still bugging on these streets. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no job. I ended up lucking up into this apartment. I got this apartment. Well, now I'm looking at this apartment like, shit, what am I going to do? So, of course, I'm going to do what the fuck I only know how to do. I'm going to start robbing and stealing. So now I got this whole fucking apartment furnished. You know what I'm saying? And everything in this shit is hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the most outlandish shit on the streets. And I'm doing all this crazy shit. And it's like people got to the point to where they was like scared to be around me. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't know what he's gonna do. Like, he's wild. I mean, they thought I was on some serious heavy drugs back then, but it wasn't none of that. I was just on one. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing what was thought up or whatever. And one time, man, this shit got so bad that I had went to Tennessee and, no, I didn't go to Tennessee. I was still in, the city, and I ain't gonna say his name, man. One of the dudes went from one of the places, one of the heists and shit, but it had got so bad, man, that, one of the places, you know what I'm saying, I used to pull a jack move and shit, was across the street from where my baby mama's grandma and them lived at. So dude goes across the street looking for me. And man, where's Brad at, man? We done heard he done did this to RZ. He done lifted this whole building. You know what I'm saying? He wilding out. He doing all this shit. And, you know, word gets back to me. Of course, I'm like, fuck, now I gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Now I got rid of everything in the apartment and shit, loaded up the car, took it to Tennessee. And then when they told me that, what happened and shit, I'm thinking to myself, like, how the fuck they know it was me? And then I remember this nigga Eddie Squeal. I ain't gonna say his name, man. We called him Eddie Squeal. This motherfucker, man, I'm in the middle of a heist, man. This nigga catch me in the alley, man. Man, Brad, what you doing? Oh, man, I know you ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? He put me on blast. He doing all this shit, man, and I'm just like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? So I continue doing what I'm doing. He fucking went back and told them, you know what I'm saying, what happened and shit. So now I'm hot as a fucking firecracker. So I'm out of the state for a while. So I eventually come back. But when I came back, you know, shit, I'm homeless. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, now I went from having an apartment, heating that shit up, having to leave. Now I'm back homeless again. So now I'm like, fuck, man, like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? So, you know, I'm out of state. I ended up coming back, you know what I'm saying? I'm still homeless or whatever, not welcome nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Because of my reputation at that point. One of the things that I used to do, man, was like, I would go to like apartment rental places. You know, I want to look at one of these apartments you guys got over here. You got apartments for rent. Oh yeah, we got a few of them, man. So a couple blocks away or whatever. Leave your driver's license here. Take the key. You can go look it out. Okay, thanks you very much. I appreciate it. So I would always wash my clothes, and I had these big blue post office bags. If anybody who know me know these post office bags. I had these big blue post office bags. I used to get all my clothes in, so I would wash them, put them in the bag. So I would go to these places and get these keys, like acting like I'm about to go look at these apartments. And what I would do once I got in there, I'd bring everything in, bring all my clothes in, bring an iron, all my toiletries, everything. I go in there, I take a shower, I get cleaned up, deodorant, cut my hair. I'm doing everything I can to get myself together, put a towel down, iron every little last piece of clothing. Got my slacks and shit, you know what I'm saying? I got them ironed to a T or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Got everything looking nice, crispy, fresh, folded back real nice, put them back in the bags, clean everything up just like it was, and I would take the key back, you know what I mean? And be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about it. I'll let you guys know what I want to do. And that's what I would do. That's how I would stay fresh and clean and still look like I wasn't homeless, even though I was. Now, lessons and losses. What I learned from that was I'm going to make shit crack regardless of where I'm at. No matter what the situation is, I'm going to figure out a way to make this shit advantageous to me. I'm going to make this shit work for me. I know it doesn't make a difference what the situation is. I'm going to make this shit work. And I learned from that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's one reason why I am the way I am now. Like, you can put me in that situation. I'm good. I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to work this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to fucking just be assed out and just go out like that. You know what I mean? So I remember, you know, during this time, like I said, I had my car. I had a Grand Marquis. It was a maroon Grand Marquis. My daddy bought it for me. The shit it wasn't new, but it was perfect. You know what I'm saying? When I got it, by the time I was done with the shit, I crashed it up, hit a tree. I done all kinds of shit. You know, I'm wilding out. You know what I'm saying? But I had everything in that car. You know what I mean? So I remember one time I was, you know, riding around the city. I'm cruising and shit. I'm high. I'm drunk. Fucked up, rolling around and shit, got the music blasting and shit. I'm riding down the street and I roll up, there was this pack of little shorties, little girlies on the corner. You know what I'm saying? I'm 20, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I pull up and shit, and then, you know, so they see me coming and shit, they all smiling and shit, like, yeah. You know, so I'm rolling up and shit. Then the closer I get to them, they start pointing at. Now they like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there you go. Yeah. I'm like, you know, I'm leaning, I'm hard with it. I'm leaning and shit like, yeah, baby, it's me. You know what I'm saying? They all laugh, smiling and pointing and shit. I pull off and shit. And the music I'm listening to, evidently the song stopped or the tape stopped or something. Cause I'm at the stoplight and I'm hearing this song, I pull to the thing. And I hear this noise. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, the fuck? So, I get out, look underneath the car. My whole fucking suspension, my whole fucking exhaust system is on the ground. My whole exhaust system is on the ground, dragging, sparking. And I'm realizing, man, them girls wasn't jocking me. They was laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? They was laughing at me like, look at this. Look at this nigga. Sparks coming out my car. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how long I had been riding like that, but I realized at that point they was laughing at me, man. I'm like, oh shit, this shit's embarrassing. And back in the day, so you could take your car to someplace, they'll hook your shit up with coat hangers and hook your shit up or whatever. But yeah, man, that's one of the things that happened, man, when I was just young, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have nothing, man. And it was just one of them things, man. The lessons and losses, but I took an L with that. I learned the lesson though, you know what I'm saying? Lessons and losses. But one of the things, man, I want to talk about is the fact that when I was young, when I was going through all that shit, man, I was a burden on a lot of people. You know what I mean? Looking back on it, I was young. I was a burden on people. People didn't know if they could trust me. They didn't know what I was on. They was like, people were scared of me. I couldn't even see my son. People didn't want me around. You know what I'm saying? So I had brothers and sisters who I would fuck with and, go over there and hit them up for money. Can I have something to eat or whatever? And I'm the little brother. They probably would have told me no if I was the big brother, but I was the little brother. So, of course, every time I went over there, it's like, can I have something to eat? You know what I'm saying? They gave me something to eat or whatever, and it was cool, whatever. But, man, I was doing too damn much, man. I mean, I'm meeting girls, and I'm bringing girls from Xenia, Yellow Springs, outside the city, back to my sister's house, to my brother's house. Now, I'm not smashing. I wasn't doing no disrespectful shit like that, but I was bringing them to their houses. And I mean, basically, I'm just trying to get out the car. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to have some place to go, to sit for a little while, watch a little TV, talk a little bit, and then that's it. So that's what I did. But my sisters, my brothers, they never told me no. They never said, you can't be doing this or whatever. They all was, from what I knew, they all was cool with it. And I'm young, so I don't think anything about it. I'm over here asking for food every damn day. I'm over here asking for money. I'm not thinking anything about it. You know what I'm saying? It's, can I have some money? So, one day, I went to my sister's house. She had an apartment out in Vesta back in the day. I went to her house. Now noted, this woman has a husband, 2 kids, and this apartment that she's in. And she's got this fucking bugaboo ass brother that keep coming over every day asking for food, asking for money. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool. I thought it was cool. I kept coming over there, whatever. So they always treated me. They never let me think that anything was a problem. So one day, man, I came in over there, and she had the screen door was open. The screen door was closed, but the door was open, so I could see her in the kitchen, washing dishes and shit. So I knocked on the door. Hey sis, what's up? And at this point, what happens next changed the trajectory of my life. What happened next between my sister and I, if I was all the way left, this veered me back right. It didn't put me on all the way the right path where I'm an upstanding citizen. but I learned something in it that made me be a better person. So I knocked on the door. Hey sis, what's up? And she turned, washing dishes, she turned and looked and saw it was me and was like, damn! Like, fuck! This motherfucker again. Damn! That one reaction from her that I saw to seeing me changed the trajectory of my life. Because I said to myself, nobody is ever going to react to me like that way again. At that moment, I knew exactly what I was, which was basically a fucking bum. You know what I'm saying? She reacted that way because she got her own, she's grown. She got her own problems. She got her own kids, her own family, struggling to survive. And then come her little brother, you know what I'm saying, fucking bumming. So I get it. And I didn't get mad at her at that point. I never got mad at her because of that, because that helped me. When I saw that, I was like, damn. And my response was basically, fuck everybody. Fuck all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Not on some fuck everybody, I'm mad at you, but fuck everybody, I'm not going to ask you for nothing. I'm going to figure it out on my own. I don't give a fuck what I got to do. I'm going to make the shit pop on my own. I'm not asking you for shit. No money, no nothing. And I never asked none of them for nothing ever again after that. At that exact moment. But that was lessons and losses. I learned a lesson in that shit. You know what I mean? I learned a lesson. I saw me for what I was at that point. You know what I mean? And I decided that, no, that's never going to happen again. I'll never let anybody react to me that way. I'll never be a fucking bugaboo to somebody like that again. It's time. I'm a young man. I'm gonna have to start carrying my own weight, doing my own fucking things. You know, that's how I felt at that point. And looking back on it now, man, like, you know, later on in life and shit, the age I am now, I realize, you know, people won't cheer for you until they see you winning. They're not gonna cheer until they see you winning. So you can talk all the talk you want, and I'm trying to get, you know, to do X, Y, and Z, but people not gonna cheer for you until they see you winning. All that fucking talk, they want to see you doing something, and even after you do something, they ain't gonna cheer. They want to see you sustain the shit. You know what I mean? So that's one lesson I learned from that. You know what I mean? So that really made me independent. That really made me on the who I am now. Because I mean, I can get it. You can put me in Boise, Idaho tonight. Come back in a month. I'm going to let you know how I'm doing. I'm going to get it cracking. As long as I get God give me breath in these lungs and this mouth to work, man, I can put that talk on it. I'm going to make it pop. I'm going to make it pop. But there's a saying that I never forgot during all that was, dream as if you'll live forever and live as if you'll die tomorrow. Have the biggest dreams in the world and live every day to the fullest. Every day when you lay your head down, know that you gave it your all that day. And strive to become a better person and learn from your mistakes, especially the mistakes you make when you're young. You learn from all that shit. You know, I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. You know what I'm saying? I was wild when I was young. I was wild. I don't even know how, I really don't know how people even dealt with me. You know what I mean? Honestly, because I was wild, man. I was wild. But it wasn't until I started getting older that I started slowing my ass down, started having something to live for. You know, people tell you when I was young, I never thought I would even live past 28. So I lived my life reckless as hell because I'm like, shit, I'm on borrowed time. I'm about to flame out any damn way. So this is how I'm going to live it. But once I got older, you know, having children, I'm like, shit, I got something to live for now. You know what I'm saying? I see now that, you know, life ain't what I thought it was, man. Life isn't what I thought it was as a young boy. And that's the beauty of getting older, because you see things differently, more mature, you make more rational decisions or whatever. But that's what I wanted to say on this one, man. Lessons and losses. Gift of Gab. It's your boy. I got some more coming for you, man. They all won't be as serious as this one. But, you know, it is what it is. Love y'all.